Welcome back to Marvel Media Podcast, where we talk about all things media, especially Marvel. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alex and Josh.
And welcome to episode 5 of Diabolical Discussion. Today I'll be breaking down and discussing episode 6 of The Boys Season 3, which is currently available to stream on Amazon Prime. So if you haven't done so already, watch that before you watch this, as it will contain spoilers from that episode. So,
yeah, if you haven't watched it, just go fuck yourself.
Facts.
Maybe not that extreme, but...
Nah,
fuck them.
Obviously this episode was phenomenal. For me at least. I would say this might be my favorite episode of the season. I think in terms of acting-wise, I feel like almost everybody in the show had like a moment acting-wise that I was like, bro, that was like they're all going for it. Like, the performances this episode alone I thought were really good, pretty much from everybody. Obviously we got a little bit of a fight scene at the end that was dope to see, because I feel like we don't get really too much full-on fight scenes in this show, really.
Yeah, they definitely hold it off sometimes.
Right, and so like this time we actually got like a pretty good one at the end of the episode, and then obviously there's a bunch of other stuff. I just wanted to give my quick overall thoughts that I thought this episode might be my favorite of the season.
Oh, same here.
Oh, yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah, from
Solid.
Point of view of the story, the fight scene, obviously, it's a big standout. The performances, I forget the actor's name. I think it's like Alonso, the actor who plays MM. He did like really good. And then obviously freaking Antony Starr. I mean, this guy's he went for it this episode. Like he definitely gave off that Green Goblin vibe when he was literally looking right at the mirror and then playing like two different sides, one of like the human side of him, and then the other like above all godly side of him that's all twisted and everything like that. So yeah, that was a nice thing to see. It was definitely, I feel like they definitely saw that from like they were definitely looking at those movies, and then obviously the whole Gal Gadot singing thing. Like they like to pull from stuff that already exists, and then just implement it in their own unique way in this show, which is obviously very nice to see. A different twist on it, and obviously like semi-parodying it.
Oh yeah, that start of the episode was fucking hilarious. I love that. They just keep this season. They're definitely like just going hard at the real world, man. Definitely harder than the past seasons. But yeah, no, I think this episode, like you said, the acting was phenomenal by like everyone. Like even A-Train's like apology that he gave to Hughie, and I was like, okay, it did great justice to the character for some kind of character development there with his kind of redemption arc that's going on, but not really, because still like, hey man, this guy has done such fucked up stuff in the past. He can't just magically absolve these things. And now he's kind of realizing that himself, that like, hey dude, you are fucked up. And then we finally got that apology to Hughie. And then we once again see Hughie homeboy just goes fucking crazy on that V. So I love that. I also love the fact that A-Train just dragged what was his name again?
Battlehawk.
It's Blue Hawk, because they emphasized the blue like in his uniform. And so I thought that was great that he dragged him. I don't know if he's dead at the end.
I don't know.
Like because like the way
Blue Hawk's pretty much dead.
Made it,
no,
Blue Hawk's dead. I'm saying A-Train.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's like that man was full on Mortal Kombat fatality there.
Great.
So
I was like, go off, King. All right. But he kind of acted the way like that he just died. It wasn't like he passed out, because obviously his heart was beating, and then you could see his eyes kind of just stare off, and then just he stopped moving completely and breathing. I was like, okay. So I don't know. I don't think he's dead.
I hope
personally,
not.
But if they did kill him that way, that would be not what I was expecting.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Right,
honest,
same.
But
I agree.
still, I thought that whole part was just great. I think A-Train was great in that part. What else happened in that episode? Oh, what's going on with Black Noir? The fact that he ripped
Dipped.
out.
Just
He said,
dipped.
"I'm
Yeah,
out." He said,
dipped.
"I'm gone." Fuck that. He
And
heard
then
Soldier
now,
Boy. He's like, "No, I'm out."
yeah. And
Gone.
then the TNT twins were talking about the fact that like it was him that planned it. It wasn't even Vought. It was him. And I don't know. I think they might be setting up some sort of twist because we know he's not a Homelander clone, right? Or at least it's not the same ending in the comics.
Right.
So, but I definitely think that they're kind of just this whole season with Noir. Something is going to happen with him in the final episode.
I agree.
There's just been so many foreshadowing moments. They keep giving him background lore details, but only like minimum amounts. And that's just really odd in comparison to all of the other characters in the show so far.
Right.
And the fact that he just dipped was kind of wild, but I do think that whole scene with him and Homelander was hilarious, where Homelander's just like, "I'm glad that you're still with me and I can trust you, buddy." And he's just silent standing there.
Literally. And then
And
as soon as
he leaves,
Homelander
he's
walks
like-
away, he just goes straight in the elevator. Just
Yeah.
cuts it out, hands it to the lady.
Hands the lady.
Gone.
Yeah, I love how out of all the people, like the regular workers at Vought are most traumatized by Noir.
Right.
Out of all that in comparison.
I
Of
mean,
course, like Alex said, we got that Green Goblin scene by Homelander too.
that was
That
crazy.
was a nice notch right there. But yeah. What were you gonna say, Blake?
With the whole A-Train thing of his apology to Hughie, I think the thing that kind of like sparked that I thought was really good was Ashley talking to A-Train in the beginning of this episode.
Mhm.
Of like Ashley actually like standing up and being like, I've been in hundreds of hours of crisis management because of everything you've done. You've killed people too. Just because it happens to you doesn't mean all of a sudden like get over yourself kind of thing. Like I thought that scene by Ashley was also like really good of like she finally stood up to like one of them at least and gave him a reality check of like,
Yeah.
you have done so many awful things. Just because one thing happens to you like doesn't mean you get to try to go hunting for justice and all this stuff has to happen. Like you've left so many people to not get their justice, and that obviously was the kind of realization that gave us that actual meaningful apology to Hughie. And then of course Hughie had to hit him because it's Hughie
Yeah.
on V.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I think the other best part about the fact that A-Train is the fact that, I mean, yeah, that realization hit him through, but also it's kind of added on to this point where it seems like all his bad things, he's really just been like internalizing. And then now that he's losing his powers and he's coming back more to the human reality, that he's not this speedster god, and he's seeing all the evil around him, and that he's actually partaken in that evil, and now he's personally experienced that evil that's been done, that he's done to others. I think it's just a nice humanizing moment for A-Train. So that's why I kind of hope he's not dead. But
Me
if
too.
he is, like I said, I don't know. It'll take me a bit to kind of consider, was that a good ending to his character arc or not?
I
Like said,
agree.
a bit more of shell shock there. That was the way.
I mean, I wouldn't be too upset in a way if it was his ending, just done a little bit better of like, it literally, like you said, it was him like, I was kind of confused, like, is he passing out here? Is it a heart attack that'll survive? Is he actually dying? And then like he hits the ground and then we cut away and we don't see him again.
Yeah.
So like if he would have died like that, and then we've also seen somebody else like there that actually see him die, like Starlight trying to save him or something, and he actually dies, then I'd feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah.
But it's more of like the fact that it's kind of like we said, we're kind of like, is he dead? Is he not? And then if all of a
I
sudden
don't
we just
think
get
he is.
confirmation he's dead, then it kind of be like, oh, well, that's kind of lame that we had to get
like,
confirmation of his death
Exactly. Yeah.
rather than it hit us of like, he's dead right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Who
I
knows?
definitely
mean,
agree.
We'll definitely find out next episode. But going on with Ashley, I think a cool thing about her character is like she started off the show being like just like an innocent intern, and then now that she's gone up the corporate ladder, we're kind of seeing that the human element of corruption of like she's definitely just turning into what she used to hate.
Right.
I mean, she's becoming more evil. We're kind of seeing how she's talking to people differently. So she kind of just, I don't know. I just thought that was a cool element to show that it's showing both sides really when it comes to heroes with powers being evil and then what humans have when it comes to actual greed and power to turn into. That's a little element there.
Was Starlight kind of touched on that with Hughie in this episode of when he kind of teleported her out of there, and she was talking to him about him on the temp V, and she's like, this is you. Like, this is all you.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't... The temp V is just helping you become more of yourself. And she's realizing, like, Hughie is this, you know, like she talked about, like he was saying how he's not afraid, like, he's fine with her saving him, and, like, he's fine being with someone so powerful, but in reality, we know that it's making him insecure, and this temp V is just trying to him be stronger than her or whatever because he's too insecure.
I think, honestly, that episode was great between their two interactions, and it wasn't like I was on either one's side. Like, I thought Starlight's points were valid and solid because obviously what Hughie was doing is, you know, putting their relationship at risk if there even is one still. And then you can see Hughie's side. I mean, homeboy literally in the beginning of the show lost his girlfriend to A-Train, and then in that moment he's still dealing with that trauma, obviously, because he just punched A-Train, and that happened.
He was hesitating though.
Long ago. I know.
He was hesitating though because of the apology. He didn't expect it.
Right.
I know. And I don't think if Hughie was on that V, like, I don't think he would have actually done anything, and that apology would have hit him.
He wouldn't even have said anything to him if he wasn't on V.
Exactly.
He wouldn't even have said, like, he never apologized.
Yeah, that would have contrast that point to Starlight that's making, like, oh, this is you, when it's like, it's not really fully Hughie, you know? I get Hughie's point, and he's definitely, like, there's reasons why he's doing this, and I agree with him and Starlight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alex,
I mean, I think it's about time we get to the big fight at the end. Well, okay. MM wanted to, like, straight up fist fight Soldier Boy. He was clearly not thinking through anything.
That was so funny to me.
He threw, like, the grenade that contains
whatever that gas
what
was,
is it?
I don't remember.
Like, I think it's halothane or something like that. It's like the thing that they use to, like, subdue Soldier Boy. He grabs it and he just goes like
inhales it.
Yeah, inhales it, and then he's like, oh shit. Well, all right, time to pull out the fist. And it's like, dude, you're clearly not thinking this through. But again, this is alluding back to what I said about his acting. Like, you can see it in his, like, eyes and everything. He's like, he's not thinking. It's all personal. His rage is taking over, and I have a feeling that at some point, I think MM might just say fuck it, and he might take Tempe because of how pissed off he is. Because
that's
his team is just taking over.
Mm-hmm. Is he doesn't Butcher only have like one or two left though?
I know. Yes. Well, he doesn't know that. Well, Maeve is really gone, does he? They haven't acknowledged that once,
right?
So maybe they're out of the loop of the fact that Maeve is gone.
I mean, in the news,
Homelander didn't mentioning.
They've said that Maeve is on rehab. So unless they've seen the news of that part,
Starlight
and
at the very
Starlight
end,
saying
she
that
said
at the end in her video. So unless Butcher and them watch that, I mean
they will. Maybe then they'll mention that.
I mean, that is true. They will watch it, but I think Butcher only has like maybe 2 at most left.
2.
Yeah. Well, especially because he's sharing it with Hughie.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I don't know. Well, I agree with you, though, Alex. I did like the fact that MM was there, but I don't think if they had the option to take Tempe, I think Starlight saved him at the end and kind of brought him back to reality of who he is. And so I don't think he will. Plus, also, I mean, that's the whole point of MM's character, is the fact that this guy is all strong about morals over his internal conflicts. I mean, that's just been his entire character arc, with dealing with his own family. We've seen the fact that, like, he has his OCD is caused because of Soldier Boy. So all these moments kind of lead to the fact of, like, his own personal morals battling against his internal conflicts. So I hope he doesn't.
I agree.
And I don't think he will.
I agree.
But if he does, I mean, I can't blame the guy.
Right.
Because, like, his team betrayed him.
Once again, yeah, so many sides.
Yeah. So, and then
I think also part of that was Butcher when Homelander, or not Homelander, Soldier Boy and MM kind of had that square off, and then Butcher was like, hey, not him. And then Butcher and MM kind of had that fight, and Butcher just kind of let MM let loose on him, and, like, he just took those he's like fine with him hitting him with the bat and all that stuff that he found around him. I thought that scene too was like really powerful for MM, just like letting out all his frustrations on like everything, because he is just so mad at Butcher and the fact that Soldier Boy's here, and just, you know, the boys are basically broken up in a way and not together, of just MM just letting off all this steam. I also thought it was funny how both MM and Butcher, when they realized it was Herogasm, were like, Frenchie's so mad. He's always wanted to see this.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch of like these guys are actually friends,
Right.
and then that leads to that scene with them kind of like, you know, MM fighting him. It makes it kind of more dramatic because like these dudes are homeboys, and Butcher really betrayed him to the core in the ultimate, you know, goal of trying to defeat Homelander. And once again, it's kind of like this moment where it's like both sides are correct here. You know, I can't really pick a side fully 100% because, you know, Butcher needs to do everything he can to kill Homelander. And they've tried so many times in the past where they tried to do it the right way, or they tried to not even do a full send, basically. And they have failed at every single turn. And, you know, that's Hughie's point, too. So, I don't know. I just love that little just conflict from both sides, that both sides are really just valid. And it's hard to choose.
True. Speaking of Frenchie, that guy was getting tortured.
Yeah.
Like, in front of, like, the two women that he's been with. And he had to choose, like, which one to survive. 3.
Oh, yeah, because the Russian lady, technically.
Oh, Nina? Yeah.
Her sex toy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. That's again another thing that I was saying, the performances. Like, I love Frenchie so much. And I can get if people, like, didn't really like us cutting away from the other stuff to go to Frenchie, because I did see some stuff about that on Twitter and stuff. Like, some people were kind of like, I don't really care about the whole Frenchie Kimiko storyline on the side, but like I still loved it. And I thought that scene of like Nina like pointing out his scars and how he got them and all that stuff, and like just Frenchie's like face and stuff, I was like, damn, bro, like I loved that scene. I was a little confused with Kimiko though, because it almost seemed like she had her powers back, I thought, for a little bit during that fight.
Me too.
But then I guess she doesn't still, and I was kind of like, how is she... Like, the one dude was, like, beating on her ribs and stuff, and she was, like, fine? So that's why I was like, oh, she has her powers again, but she doesn't? So that part I was a little confused about with that scene.
And she broke the dude's finger really easily.
Right. Like, I was just like...
I
was just kind of confused. Like, it was... At times I thought her powers were there, but they weren't, I guess. But, I like that little side storyline, and I'm, you know, happy that hopefully... eventually they'll somehow team up again and, you know, meet up with them all again. But man, Frenchie just getting it bad.
Guy can't catch a break. He's just trying to leave the business, but he keeps getting dragged back into it, so that's tough for him. The big fight though. The big fight. That's what everyone's
Alex, I want
talking
your thoughts
about.
on the big fight. Give me all the details on your thoughts.
Pure cinema. It was great. I loved it. I loved it, dude. It was great. I think like the way it starts with just Homelander landing, and then he turns around and he sees Soldier Boy first. So it's like not even like no one there. Actually, you know what? I think Butcher's there, and then he tells him, "I thought it was only supposed to be you and me to the death." And he's like, you know what? That's done. That's over. He lasers him. He thinks he's dead, and then Butcher just takes it and he like lies down on the ground. Then you have that interaction between Soldier Boy and Homelander, where it's like, you know, I used to watch you growing up. I used to be like you. And then he's like, dude, you're not even close to me. You're just like a cheap knockoff wearing a cape. And then he's like, no, I'm the upgrade. And then obviously we get into the whole fight. Clearly, like, the entire budget went to that fucking, you know, sequence. Like, holy shit. I don't know.
It was good.
It was clean.
Yeah, it was definitely, like,
no cuts,
really well done.
Almost.
Yeah. Really well done. You know, like the whole fight between him and Homelander at first. And then obviously Butcher shows up as like, hey. And then he just lasers him. And then Homelander's like, what the fuck? It's like, what did you do? and then obviously we get the whole 2v1 fight, and then it looks like Homelander's still holding his own, which is crazy to think that Butcher on Temp V having pretty much similar powers to Homelander, Soldier Boy, which is almost equal in strength to Homelander, and Homelander's
Upgraded
still
too.
What?
Because Soldier Boy's upgraded even from all the
Oh yeah,
experiments
yeah,
that the Russians
because
have
of
done
the
on him, and the fact that like, it just emphasized that Homelander is the upgrade. I mean, Soldier Boy was barely holding his own and would have probably died almost if it wasn't for Butcher being there.
Everybody, I don't understand. I've seen this about like, oh, I'm surprised Homelander was holding his own and all that stuff. I don't understand how people can think that. Homelander would have killed either of those guys one-on-one, no problem.
Yeah.
Both of those guys had to get saved.
I mean, that was the premise of the show,
Homelander
is that guy.
Absolutely was destroying and choking out Soldier Boy until Butcher woke up from the blast and was like, oi, and then saved him. Otherwise, he 100% was going to kill Soldier Boy. And then after that, when it was Butcher and him in their 1v1, again, he had him choke, which I don't understand why his move is always to choke. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you just trying to choke everybody out? Like, just snap their neck or something? But again, he had Butcher. He 100% would have beat Butcher if Hughie didn't show up to save him.
He likes to choke because it's, he's the drama. Man.
Well, yeah.
He's the drama. Yeah, that's why he likes choking. He wants the victim to stare him in the eyes while they're dying.
Homelander, I know, and everybody's like, which is a surprise because Homelander's really never fought anybody who's supposed to be on his level or near his level. So the fact that he was able to handle them so well is a surprise, but I was like, he 100% kills those guys one-on-one. 100% in my mind.
I mean, he escaped a 3v1.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Literally 3 guys on him.
Holding him down.
All pure rage, too. And
still gets away.
Dude, his acting where he's just on the ground and he's like just like kind of grasping at the last bit of strength he had left to get the fuck out of there. That was crazy. It's just like, damn. It was literally like
first time we've seen Homelander with a bruise.
Right.
How about that part? They emphasize that his face is actually beaten on, and now I wonder if they're gonna have a makeup scene or something like that where he tries to cover up the bruise because, like 100%. You said, he just had those interviews where he said this is handled. And now Starlight let that out. And I couldn't tell in the end scene if they were showing the mirror properly or not, because he was looking in the mirror, right? Homelander at his own place at the end. And I couldn't tell if he was just not seeing himself again because, he had the whole Green Goblin scene where he's that guy and he needs to just go handle the situation. And then now he just went there, Butcher, a guy that he doesn't actually know if he has temporary powers. He just knows he has powers, right?
Right.
Which that kind of the whole balance there was the fact that Homelander doesn't really give too much of a fucks about Butcher because he knows he will win because he's human.
Right.
And now Butcher might not be human anymore. And Homelander knows this guy's smarter than him when it comes to plans. And it's like, oh, okay. And then now you got the Soldier Boy threat. And he still didn't even know exactly what Soldier Boy was going to do to him when Soldier Boy was on top of him. And they was asking him, okay, do it now.
Right.
So
he couldn't.
There's a lot going on. Homelander, I think we're going to see him completely snap.
Yeah.
And I'm all here for it.
That Starlight video definitely is going to be a huge, over the edge moment. Like, not only did he just get in a fight with, like you said, Butcher, who now has powers and everything, but on top of that, now Starlight has officially turned. That I think he may not even care about Vaughn in the sense of doing any type of interview or anything like that. He might just be right now getting ready just to go back and try to kill them because he's at the point where he's like, everything's turned against me almost. Like,
everything's crumbled.
Right.
Every aspect.
He might be at the point where he's like, I'm just going to kill and do what I want from now on.
Yeah. There's no love interest. He was even talking to himself saying maybe it was a bad idea. He's actually having some self-reflection there of saying like, man, maybe I can't do this. And then now Starlight does that. And they're not going to have a PR team to cancel because the Deep fired all their team to actually erase that from the web. And then he knows that his one guy he thought he could trust in the 7 actually and had some competence is gone. And then now you got all these guys making these plans behind his back, actually have powers. Because Hughie had powers there too, and he was even surprised by that. And he was like,
right,
what happened? What did these guys do that I wasn't aware of?
Which, I mean, I thought, I don't really fully understand yet Soldier Boy. in a sense of, was his powers before he got the upgrade just solely that he was super strong? Like the whole blast
He's Captain
thing,
America.
right?
He's
His
Captain
whole
America.
blast thing was obviously added.
Yeah.
But before that, was he solely just strong?
Yeah, he was just super strong and like almost invincible. Like they even made a comment
That's
like
just
saying
weak.
like he's just like slightly under what Homelander is. Homelander,
Homelander
is the
can
upgrade.
fly.
Like Homelander can fly,
And he has the
Homelander is
laser.
lasers. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
Soldier
upgraded
Boy, I'll
unit.
be straight up, just doesn't seem all that special to me. Like, he 100% was getting bodied by Homelander.
I'm curious how their next interaction would go. One thing I noticed was like Soldier Boy definitely had the better like fighting tactics. Like you can see in the fist-to-fist combats, it was more of, I don't think Soldier Boy, he definitely like he underestimated Homelander. And I think you can see that initially right off in the fight of like, that's where Homelander, not only the fact that Homelander's obviously stronger and just better, he is the upgrade, but on top of that, Homelander has that edge because he knows where his abilities are, and he knows that Soldier Boy can't handle that. Where Soldier Boy thinks, he's the shit, he's that guy still, and he's just coming back to reclaim the throne.
Right.
So it kind of showed in that fight right there. And then he's gonna choke down, and he's like, "Okay, all right."
And then I think he saw it too when both Butcher and Homelander were like lasering each other. He's just like gets up. He's like, "What the fuck am I looking at right now?"
Right.
And he's like, "I don't have that." I was like, "Great." But I mean, I like how he called out like, you're just a guy in a cape, and then when he's flying and they're both like busy with their laser fight there, he grabs
Grab him by
Homelander
the
by
cape.
the cape. And he just chucks him across. That was a pretty cool thing. That was a little mini callback to the beginning of the fight. But yeah, I agree. He definitely got a reality check. He's like, well, maybe I'm not the top dog, but maybe with the help of these guys, we can actually like. I think at first he was like, yeah, sure, I'll help you kill him, but it wasn't his priority. Maybe now after this fight, he's probably like, you know what, I'm gonna add him to my list, and I'm gonna actually like try, like I'm gonna be prepared for it this time,
and it's gonna take
because he definitely was prepared. Mm-hmm.
I think in Soldier Boy's eyes, he could be like, I need these guys, Hughie and Butcher, definitely just help me huge to stay alive and almost beat him. I think now he might even be like, I don't even care about payback right now. Like, I'm with you guys right now. Let's just get rid of Homelander first. He is
Exactly
the number one obstacle. I can go do what I want after he's gone, but if this guy's still here, he's our main threat in a way and our main focus.
Mm-hmm. Because you already know that Homelander's going to try to hunt him down, and he might get in his way while he's trying to get payback on payback. So,
exactly.
Yeah. For all we know, he might just get in his feels. Soldier Boy's like, I'm not the top dog. All these guys could do this. All right. I'm just going to go drink and do drugs.
I like the... There's a lot with Soldier Boy that I like this episode, with the fact that, one, he talked about Afghanistan, which I thought was a bit politically humorous. And then... also
Bill Cosby, too.
Yes, yeah. Bill Cosby. But you also kind of saw like the interaction with Hughie there, too, of like... maybe Soldier Boy isn't that bad of a guy. And then the rest of the episode, it continues to have that conflict of like, oh, I'm not actually going to hurt all the civilians. And then, but it's like, but if they get in my way. And then it's like, okay. And then obviously he just fucking nukes everyone again on accident.
See, but it's not because he wants to.
Right.
I know. But that's through that conflict. But then you talk with the MM scene, and he's like, you killed my family. And then he's like, which one?
Right.
And you're like, okay, this guy he may not be Homelander evil, but he's still not a good guy.
Right.
Deep down, it doesn't matter. He's done some evil shit. And the more we learn about what happened to MM and his experience with Soldier Boy, you really learn that this guy was the first Homelander, and he was a piece of shit. So I don't know. I like that kind of story that was also going throughout that episode of, is Soldier Boy a good guy or not? And he's just not.
No, he's not.
He's handsome, though. He is handsome, so he is a good guy.
And his voice. He's got a great voice on him.
Nice beard, too. Nice hair as well. Like, come on.
Guy's blessed.
Yeah, Hughie's thicker, though.
Dude, all right, so I think...
Let me just say this one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
doesn't it kind of throw you guys off? Like you see Butcher and Soldier Boy like seriously fighting Homelander, and then all of a sudden you see like a naked Hughie just like
You
show
just
up, and
teleport.
even Homelander's like,
What the
fuck?
Yeah, part of it was like him teleporting
it
in, and
throws
then
me
part of
off.
it is just being naked. That Homelander's like, what?
The fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in there. Yeah, I was like, Hughie needs to like figure out how to like keep his clothes on while he teleports. I don't know how that would even work, but
Oh, yeah, talking about Huey being in like Herogasm, and I need to give my butt a break.
Oh yeah,
He
the
said
one like
guy, he was like, "Oh, I'm flattered, but I need to give myself a break." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I understand, man."
just like what? But the thing that I was gonna say is, so we heard the TNT Twins say that it was Noir who was behind the stuff with Soldier Boy, and then obviously we saw at the beginning of the episode Noir, as soon as he saw Soldier Boy, was gone.
heard about it. Yeah,
I'm thinking that we saw in that kind of flashback with Colonel Mallory that Noir was trying to say like, oh, I want to be like the face, like I want to take this mask off, I want to be the face of everything. So it could be very possible that he had plans in motion while they were there to have that happen to Soldier Boy so that he could take over, and then that was the fight that ended up messing up his face, which he then had to wear his helmet to kind of keep him alive, like a Darth Vader type thing. So is that kind of what you guys are thinking? Like he already had the plans in place for that battle to be the one
Well,
that
I don't think
something
his
would
mask.
happen?
I don't think his mask keeps him alive. I think it's like his healing factor because like his jaw got chopped off. It literally just like covered his mouth. So like he doesn't really have like the ability to speak, and he just looks like horrifying. And so he like
Right.
wears the mask in shame, I think.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I think that's what they're kind of like leaning towards, because like his healing factor doesn't really regenerate everything, but it does heal to survive.
Right.
So
But
yeah,
do you
because
think
his jaw was broken. That's why he doesn't talk.
that battle was planned already for Soldier Boy to die or get kidnapped or whatever, and then it just happened to be the battle that Noir got, his face messed up to the point where he couldn't take over and be the leader?
I like that
think
theory,
it was.
but I personally don't think so. But continue, Alex.
No.
What were you saying?
I personally think it's because I don't know if you guys remember, but Stan Edgar was there too. I feel like maybe that was his way of getting rid of Soldier Boy, because you would think Stan Edgar, the big guy of Vought, would want to not lose his top dog, right? But he would want to like go and retrieve him, but he never did. So clearly,
Edgar wasn't the
he was
top
in
guy
it.
yet, though. At that point, right?
He wasn't?
Just like a minor.
No.
He was just like a sergeant, basically, kind of like in that ranks.
Right.
So he was kind of like going up the ranks. So I don't know necessarily. What I don't know. I mean, you are right though. It is weird that he didn't go after Soldier Boy, or maybe that was the whole plan all along. Like we still don't know all of Edgar's pieces, because, like we said, I don't think he's out of this completely yet. Because he just dips, and Homeboy literally had a plan for everything, and he even had a plan for his own daughter. So I think he'll make a comeback. And probably in the finale, sadly, we won't see anything, and it might be just a tease than anything else. But I think
We only have 2 more episodes. I just thought.
I know.
About that.
That's why I'm saying there's a lot of plots that I think some are going to get teased, and only like maybe one will get finished.
Right. Like we don't know.
There's only one
Maeve.
more season.
We don't know if we're even going to touch on Maeve again this season.
Yeah.
There's
That might be a tease at the end. That's what I was thinking. That's one. Like Edgar and Maeve, I think, are going to be teases at the end to kind of set up the next season. And then we're going to see mainly the main plot now is fully shifted to Soldier Boy and Homelander.
Right.
For sure.
As it should be. But I mean, like you said, there's just a lot of plots and subplots going on. That's hard to talk about everything that happens every episode. But what would you guys rank this episode out of 10?
It's like a 9 for me.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'd give it a solid 9. I think best episode of the season.
I agree. Yeah, I'm somewhere.
Mainly just because the fights, they did it perfectly, and they actually gave it the proper time.
Right.
Yeah, the fight scene, the
writing.
the writing, the acting. I mean, even like the jokes that were said were funny. Yeah. So overall, it definitely is the
Also,
best
we
episode.
forgot to talk about the fact that Herogasm alone was underwhelming. We all three kind of thought that, didn't we?
That's true. Yeah, we forgot.
Yeah,
About
that's kind
that.
of like the whole point leading up to this episode was this thing's going to be crazy. That a pre-warning about it. I mean, all the interviews talked about it, and honestly, I thought the first episode, that first 10-minute scene, was more traumatizing than
Agreed.
anything I saw.
Agreed.
And it's now like it's not that big of a deal. I think also it's because we're desensitized to the boys, but even for the boy standards, I thought that really wasn't that much.
Agreed.
You know, we already saw the Deep doing stuff with fish, so it was
Right.
like
Him getting sucked
wasn't
off by an
surprising.
octopus.
Yeah, there wasn't anything crazy new. I was like, okay, so
I agree.
Yeah. But
But
if you want to check out any of the other videos, you can click on the YouTube card right up here, and then so just to let you know, it's a playlist, Diabolical Discussion.
up there,
Go and check it out.
you can leave a like on this video. Comment down below if there's
comments.
anything we forgot about or
If you're
you
John
agreed,
Wick, we
disagreed
love you.
with. Shout out John Wick. Make sure to follow along on our social medias as we've been posting in there: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Check out Apple Podcasts if you want to listen to just the podcast version of our episodes. Drop around the same times that these come out on YouTube, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.